Hi there. I'm excited to come to you today and tell you about a force that is controlling your relationship, and you probably don't even know about it. Hi there. I'm Dr. Jeannie Bertoli. I'm the couples expert. I help couples assess their current relationship, decide if they still should stay together, and then enact that decision with grace and respect for all. So let's get down to it. Today, I want to tell you about this secret thing. Couples never know about this, and it becomes one of their favorite things to know and utilize in their discussions of their relationships as they spend their time with me or just that they continue with after therapy. So here we go. It is emotional distance and managing emotional distance. So let me break it down for you. Usually, one person is wanting more from the other person than the other one wants to give. So somebody's feeling a little needier, somebody's feeling a little too needed and trying to create a little more emotional distance, and somebody's reaching out seeking a more connection, more of a bid for connection, more of a bid for like, I want more of you, and somebody's like, I want a little less. So there are three, this is one way to really look at this, is that there are three categories. There's actually a continuum, but this is a great way to break it down to have these discussions. There are three categories of very successful couples. All of them are successful, and I'm going to list them out for you and describe them each to you. So the first couple is the A couple. So literally, it's an A. Let me see if I can get that straight. So think of an A in your head, and these are the couples that are the what we might call fused or codependent. These are the people who are like, we like ice cream, we like this restaurant, we like driving in the car together, we like to do so many things together, and we rarely like to do things apart. We. So that's that couple where they just really can't get enough of each other. Interdependent, codependent, fused, all kinds of words for that. And then on the other end of the continuum are the H's. H. So that each of these fits the letter. So H's are people who live quite independent lives. And then they have the middle part of the H, these things that connect them. So that could be children, it could be shared religion, it could be shared values, it could just be family ties, it could be anything, but something ties them together, but they live quite independent, emotionally independent lives. So even if they share activities, they're still emotionally quite separate. And, separate friends largely, separate activities largely, but even when they come together, it doesn't have that continuity between them, that leaning on each other aspect. They more lean on themselves independently or on their friends or family or trusted others. So that's the H. In the middle is the M. So as you might guess, that's a terrible M. Sorry about that, but they're in between. So these are the people who have some level of interdependence. This is the interdependent, and then some level of independence. So they adore each other, they love each other, they like that depth of emotional connection, and they also like to do things separate. So love spending time with you and our friends, but I also love spending time with my girls, my guys, and activities that don't involve you. I don't need to be around you in order to feel connected to you. Think of it that way. So, what can you do with this? First of all, you can discuss it in terms of I'm between two. You don't have to say I'm solidly one of the three. So, what you want to think of is you independent of your relationship. I am X. Before I met this person, just knowing myself in my life, how much do I tend to be liking that connection or needing that connection, that depth of emotional fusion? So that can often be different from how the relationship is functioning. So I have a couple where they both think independently they are H's, but they are functioning as an A, as a couple, and it's suffocating them because that's not their natures. That's not how they want to be, but it is how they are behaving. So that becomes a conversation of, okay, if you think you're an H, how would you like, and this is functioning as an A, how would you like this relationship to function? What makes sense given your relationship goals, how you want to be as a couple. So it isn't just, hey, I'm an H, therefore I want to be an H in this relationship. It isn't that, because we're trying to make the relationships thrive. So what do you think you want this relationship to look like? A lot of people don't want the H relationship. Even if they've got a strong independent streak, they want to feel connected to their partner. But subconsciously, they may find themselves pushing against that and acting in like ways that really push their partner away, because they don't realize they've got this depth of H history that's pulling them toward their independence. So they may be out. They might. So ways we push the other away is like sabotaging a relationship, such as, I don't really answer my phone all the time. I don't really respond that quickly. I say I'm going to be home at 5, but it's more like 5:15. These are subtle ways to just push your partner away, to say, you're not that much of a priority. You're not the top priority, or my word isn't the top priority. And if you're not conscious of this process, you can just easily think, what's the big deal with my guys? What's the big deal? It's 15 minutes. So this becomes a conversation of, you don't even know emotional distance and the connection is actually what's driving these behaviors that are very annoying to each other. So the bigger conversation, the process conversation, that's what you're going to hear me talk about a lot in this, is the process conversation, the messages we're sending each other, and what we're prioritizing. When you make the unconscious conscious, then you can deal with it. So you have this conversation on a bigger level, like, what do you think you are by your nature? What do you want in this relationship? Can we find a way to create a relationship that works for both of us and that we can both thrive in and both be happy with? And I want to tell you one more tip before I head out, and that is this: different relationships can bring out different functioning in us. I have been in relationships where I functioned more like the pusher away, more like the H, and I've been in relationships where I felt the other person pushing me away, and that made me feel more needy. That made me feel more like A, like the A, like, why don't you want more time together? Why don't you want more affection? Why don't you want more? So I'm grabbing, but that's not really my nature. But that's the function of this relationship, where the pushing and the pulling and this subconscious process is happening. And he was more like Hing me out. So I hope this helps. I hope this is a wonderful addition to how you assist your relationship. Let me know if you have any questions or comments in the box below. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.